Hello and welcome to my channel. Only 4 days left before Stultifera Navis goes live, so it's time to introduce the new operators of this event in a 4-part video series. We'll be taking a look at the limited operator coming in this event, and that is none other than everyone's favorite psychotic nun with a chainsaw, Specter the Unchained. Specter Alter is a dollkeeper specialist and she will be the first 6-star of this archetype. Dollkeepers won't retreat from the field when their HP reaches 0. Instead, they will swap to a substitute temporarily, and after 20 seconds, they will swap back to the original. The substitute has a different range from the original and has 0 block as well. If the substitute's HP reaches 0, Specter Alter will be retreated from the battle and you'll have to redeploy her again. This is considered to be a bad thing for this archetype, so the 0 block count on the substitute is great as melee enemies won't be able to hit her. Moving on to Specter Alter's stats, it's definitely a step above the other dollkeepers, beating both Kazemaru and Benna at the same investment level. She even has near similar stats as the original Specter, with the main difference being the 2 block on her alter form instead of the original 3. Next up are her talents. Her first talent is a buff to her substitute, reducing the movement speed of all enemies in range and dealing 40% of its attack as arts damage every second. The damage from this talent isn't that impressive on its own, but it's a nice addition to her kit. Her second talent is a buff for the Abyssal Hunter team, increasing all Abyssal Hunters' HP by 20% just by existing in your squad. The HP buff is really good considering the fact that it's a permanent buff, making the Abyssal Hunter team even more cracked. Specter herself is part of the Abyssal Hunters, so she'll be receiving the buff herself. Now onto the juicy bit, her skills. Specter will instantly switch her own max HP with the operator with the lowest HP in the range and gets a big attack buff. You might be thinking, wow, that's such a cool ability, it's perfect for operators like Surtur and Horn, but in actuality, it's not that impressive when compared to the DPS boosters like Suzerain or Arak. Furthermore, Specter's HP will be in shambles after activating the skill. If you're using her to block enemies, she'll be KO'd easily, essentially wasting the impressive attack buff. Not the best skill in her kit. Moving on to her second skill, Specter Alter will get a big attack and attack speed buff, reducing her attack interval to only 0.8 seconds. She will also gain immunity to death for the entire skill duration and will swap to her substitute after it ends. You can clearly tell this skill attempts to adapt Guard Specter's second skill, and it failed miserably. The first problem is the SP regeneration. Guard Specter's second skill stuns her for 10 seconds after the skill ends, and she is able to regain SP while being stunned. Specter Alter on the other hand will only start to regenerate SP after 20 seconds of being in substitute form, worsening the skill's uptime. Secondly, Specter Alter does single target attacks, unlike her guard form who does AoE attacks. Of course, there are some positives in this skill as well. Specter Alter's skill offers 5 seconds more immortality, as well as a full HP heal after swapping back from her substitute. Overall, a really mediocre skill to use on her. Thankfully, there is a silver lining for this skill, more on that later. Now, if you think this video is helpful, please consider subscribing to stay tuned for more. I really want to hit 10,000 subs by the end of this year, so please help me make it a reality. As for her third skill, Specter Alter will get a big attack and HP buff, but gets an attack speed debuff, increasing her attack interval to 2.2 seconds. Specter will also change her attacks to hitting multiple enemies in range equal to her block count. If the enemy has more HP than her, Specter's attacks deal another instance of physical damage. Otherwise, Specter loses 3% of her max HP every second. The HP drain can potentially kill her, though this is quite rare as the drain isn't too bad. This skill shines against enemies with high defense and has an undeniably high burst damage, but when compared to Mountain's third skill that offers the same niche of multi-target burst damage, Specter is only able to beat his damage when she's constantly landing her additional physical attacks. Otherwise, Mountain is still superior when facing enemies below 1500 defense. This skill has an average SP cost and duration. Lastly, we have her modules. Specter's first module changes the effects on her first talent. giving her additional SP when swapping back to the original form in the later stages. This is considered to be one of the best modules in the game. At stage 3, Specter will be given 75% of the SP she would have gained if she wasn't stuck in her substitute form. It also improves the substitute's art's damage and movement speed reduction to more respectable levels. Specter's second skill also benefits from this talent, significantly reducing the skill's downtime, making it a much more viable option. This is a must-have module if you're planning on using Specter Alter to deal damage. As for her second module, it gives the substitute more damage, as well as changing the effects of her second talent. Specter now gives more HP and SP regeneration to all Abyssal Hunters. The SP regeneration is really good, but the best part of this module is definitely the monstrous HP buff. Also, Specter will be applying all these buffs just from existing in your squad. So if you're an avid Abyssal Hunter player, this module is an awesome addition. Otherwise, her first module takes priority. So, should you pull and build Specter the Unchained? I'd say probably yes. If you enjoy using the Abyssal Hunter team, Specter Alter is a great addition. The main problem with her kit is the amount of investment required to bring out her full potential. You'll need to E2 her, put masteries on her skills, and unlock her module to the 3rd stage to give her a major glow up. If you have the materials to spare, go for it. Otherwise, you can consider skipping her for future operators. You aren't really missing out much, and that's all from me. Bye.